Hello YouTube, and welcome back to your 7th tutorials on Microsoft Basic. And in this tutorials we are going to talk about logical operators, like I promised. So what are logical operators? I've already listed them here. Logical operators or operations perform tests on multiple relations, bit multiplication, and Boolean operations. The result is usually a true, that is non-zero, or false value, that is what? 0. And it is used in determining the next line of action. So what logical operators are? They are basically the operators that evaluate to true or false, which are what? 0 and 1. Now if you take a look at the list of operators that we have in QBasic, you find out that we have what? This one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have not, we have the and, we have the or, we have the exclusive or, we have the equivalence, and we have the what? Implication. But basically, the one that we are going to be talking about in the course of these tutorials are the and, the or, and the exclusive or. So, but this one here, the NOT gate. Let me show you a bit of this table here. Now if you look at this the truth table of those operators, you find out that this place here is your variables, or the variable x and y, and then x is the first column for x is what? True and true. Now if you have done digital electronic, you should be able to be familiar with each of these values here. Now that the true values are evaluated to 1, that means the true values are 1. Then the false value here are the zeros. That is the reason why we have 0 and 1 in computer, or we have what? Off and on, or true or false. So those are logical operators. Like I said, they evaluate values like true or false. Now if you have something like this NOT gate or this NOT operator, sometimes you call it what? Inverter, but they are called what? Bitwise complements, or you can call it what? Inverter. The reason is because if you have something like x, and the value of x is true, that means when you say not x, or when you want to compare a variable using not, that means the truth value of what? X will be changed to what? False. And that's what you are saying here. Now mind you that not x or not operator only deals with one value. It only deals with what? One value. That means what? X. You can't compare two operators using not. You can only compare what? One value. So it is the inverse of the other value. For example, if you have truth here, that means if you have 1 here, then if you compare it with not, it will be what? 0. If you have 0 here, if you compare it with not, it will be what? 1. So I hope you understand. Then we have the next one here, and. Now this and is just like your multiplication. If you multiply 1 times 1, it will give you what? 1, which is truth. If you multiply 1 times 0, it will give you what? 0, which is what? False. So these are the ways you use in understanding logic gates. But there are proper way or better way to explain it. But in the course of these tutorials, I just want you to get the reason why we are having truth, false, false, false. Now this one, OR gate, it's just like your addition. If you add 1 plus 1, you'll be getting what? 2. I know you'll be getting 2. But in computer, what you'll be getting is what? 1. Now if you add 0 plus 0, you know you'll be getting what? 0. Sorry, this place is supposed to be false. So you'll be getting what? 0. So that is how you got all this one here, because 1 plus 1 is what? 1 in computer. Then 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. Then 0 plus 0 is what? 0 here. Then this exclusive OR is kind of different from these two. Now, the reason is because if you have two numbers that are the same, or if you have two variables that are the same, for example, if you have 1 and 1, that means the result will be what? False. If you have 1 and 1, the result will be what? False. If you have false and false, or if you have 0 and 0, they are the same, so it will be what? False. But if any of the value change, or if any of the value changes, like this place now, you have 0 here and you have what? 1 here, so the value will be what? True. Alright, then these are equivalent. This one here is called equivalent. If this one and this one are the same, that means you give you what? Truth. But if this one and this one are not the same, that means to give you false. So it is, this equivalent is just the opposite of this exclusive OR. Then we have this implication here. Implication, if this one is true, this one is true, then this one is true. Then if this one is true and this one is false, then this one is what? False. But this one, if the first one here is false, automatically the last one will be true, and false, false, true. So we are going to talk more about this, or we are going to use this one here to demonstrate, to do some demonstrations. So let's open our basic compiler. So what I'm going to do is just to click on open my command prompt, then navigate. I know you can't see, but okay, you can see now. So navigate to where yours is. Sorry, cd QBasic 64, then QBasic 64. Then close this one, and boom, you have your QBasic. So what I'm going to do is to, let me check to import the last tutorials that we did. I think I should use that one to demonstrate more. What was the last tutorial? Relational. So I'm going to open our previous relational tutorial. So in this place we already defined our variables to be x is equals to what? 1. Our y to be equals to what? 1. Which in actual sense we are saying t. Okay, let me just say t. T for truth. Then here we also have false. Then here we have truth, and this place we have false here. Then let's start comparing the variables, or sorry, the operators. Now if you do and here, let me use and for example, and now if you say and, you remember that and is what? Multiplication. So if you do 1 times 1, it's going to give you 1. And I said that 1 is what? Truth. 0 is what? False. So if you do 1 times 1, it's going to give you what? 1, which is what? Truth. So it's going to print out what? Truth. So let's run it and see. It's coming up. So as you can see, it evaluates to what? Truth, as you can see here. Okay, let me test another condition. Let me make any of these one false, which is 0. And let me run the program again. See, it evaluates to what? False here, because one of the variable is what? False. So it's just like saying 0 times 1. Everybody knows it's 0, and I said 0 is what? False. So that is that for and. So we are going to test the OR operator. They are very important in programming, these 3 operators. So if you do 0 plus 1, like I said, the OR is just your addition. Use addition and you'll be able to evaluate it. If you do 0 plus 1, it's going to give you 1, which is what? True. So let's check and see. So see, you have what? Truth here. Then if you do 0 and 0, let me see what you got. 0 and 0 and 0, sorry. See, it evaluated to what? False, because 0 plus 0 is 0, and I said 0 is what? False. So the next one is exclusive OR. So if you do 0 and 0, it's going to give us what? False, because they are the same. You see, as you see here, it's giving us what? False. The reason is because 0 and 0 are what? The same. Now, but if you change any of this value to, let me say you change it to truth or 1, then you'll be having what? Truth, like as you can see here. Okay, now with this one, I know you understand a little bit of what logical operators are. They're just used to compare what? Values. Now if someone may ask you, what will you use this for in programming? Now you can use this to say something like, let me just write it out here. Something like, if school fees is paid and receipt collected, then come to school tomorrow. So whatever and anyhow, however I spell them, just want you to get the logic behind this. So if you want to compare a variable like this, if school fee is paid and receipt collected, then come to school. Now you find out that in this condition now, these two things must be equal, or these two things must happen before this one will be executed. If any of this is not true, or if any of this is not on, then you cannot come to school. If you pay your school fees and you did not collect your receipt, that means you cannot come to school. If you collect your receipt, you did not pay your school fees, that means you cannot come to school. But if you pay your school fees and also collect your receipt, then you are qualified to come to school. But if you compare using the or, like this, it's either you pay school fees or you collect your receipt. Any of those anyone that happens, you can come to school. If you pay your school fees and you did not collect your receipts, you can also come to school. But if you collect your receipt and you did not pay your school fees, you can also come to school. So these are the differences between the and the or operators and how they can be applied in programming. So with this, I know you understand what logical operators are. If you have any question, you can just drop it on my comment box, or you visit my website to drop more questions for me, and I'll be able to attend to them. But for now, I want to say bye, and don't forget to subscribe. And in the next tutorials, we'll be talking about expressions, statements, so that we can begin the reprogramming. So for now, just take a textbook and read more about the theories that we've explained in a little way. And I'd like to say see you later. Miss you.